Greetings, YouTubers. Alright, today I'm going to go over how to finish knotty pine with this Zinsser Shellac Amber. Redoing a loft above the garage with this knotty pine, I couldn't find really information on how to finish it. So I did some research and I'm about halfway done, so I thought I'd put the information on YouTube so hopefully it can help the next person. So I'm going to talk to you about what this stuff is. This is Zinsser Amber Shellac. I'm going to show you what you need. I'm going to show you what it looks like once it goes on. I'm going to show you good comparisons of what it looked like before and after. And then I'm going to show you how to actually apply it. And the way I'm going to do that is show you some spots that I screwed up on. I got about 4 hours using this stuff, so I'm pretty sure I got the hang of it now. And I can show you what to do and more importantly what not to do. So first I'm going to show you what you'll need. So I'm just going to grab this and alright, so obviously you're going to need this Zinsser Shellac. I did some research online, and from what I found out, I've never used this stuff before, so this was all new to me. It's actually alcohol based, and what that means is it evaporates super quick. This stuff actually dries, it says in like 2 to 3 minutes, but honestly after about a minute it's really tacky and you're not going to be able to spread it out anymore with a brush. It goes for $13.50 at Lowe's. You can't actually buy this in a gallon. I asked why at Lowe's and they said it's because they can't store that much of it because it is super flammable. That includes the vapors, so you want to be really careful when you're using this stuff. Don't smoke around it, no open flames, because it is highly flammable. So you're gonna need some brushes. So I bought this brush at Lowe's to use. It was 10 bucks. It's for oil-based stains and finishes. I really like it. It puts the stuff on very well, and this is the one I would use again. I also had a couple little brushes, some cheap brushes, just to get in these smaller areas. I'm using the old handy dandy pink pail. I was a little worried about using plastic with this stuff because it's alcohol based, but I've had this shellac in it for probably about 2 hours at a time and it doesn't melt through it. It worked just fine. You're definitely going to want some rubber gloves because the stuff is very sticky. You're going to need some eye protection because you don't want this stuff in your eyes. You're obviously going to need the old church key to open the shellac. Hammer to close it up after. And as far as cleaning it, you got to use this denatured alcohol. This stuff is super flammable and it's very potent. So you want to clean it outside. It's not really enough to do it in a quote-unquote well-ventilated area. I did catch a whiff of this stuff to the face, and it knocked me back a step. So that's everything you need, and you're also going to want to have a fan or a good ventilated area. So I'm going to show you now what it looks like after it goes on. So if you take a look, I got about 4 hours up here doing it. Obviously the top part and that little access panel is what it looks like after it goes on. This is all one coat, and I don't think I'm going to do a second coat. I like the way it looks. When I was getting information about this stuff online, it was said that it would need multiple coats and I would have to sand in between the coats. I totally disagree. After putting this stuff on, it's super smooth, and even if I decide to do another coat, I wouldn't sand it. There's absolutely no need. I don't know if it's because I got the right brush, but I had read that there would be air bubbles and kind of lines in it, and I do not find that to be the case at all. It's very smooth and no need to sand it. So let's talk about how you should apply it. Alright, so the first spot I did was actually in the stairwell because I had never used this stuff before. So I wanted to do a spot that really wouldn't be staring me in the face all the time, so I started in the stairs. So one thing that I learned not to do, and this is probably the biggest thing, is I'm going to take a couple steps down. It's not like normal paint where you want to cut it in because it dries so fast. You don't get a chance to go back to it and kind of even it out. So over here what I did was I cut in the wall over here, and then I came back and shellacked the rest of it. And while it doesn't look bad, and most people wouldn't notice it, but because I'm the one that actually put it on, I notice it. But you can tell that there's 2 coats right there. You can tell that there's different colors. So that's not what you want to do. Don't cut areas in with this stuff. And it's the same thing over there. I tried cutting it in and then going back and shellacking the rest of it, and it didn't come out as good as I would like to have. But it's a learning experience, and again, it doesn't look bad. It's just that it could look better. There is 2 spots I did do 2 coats, and there is a difference. The windowsills, because they actually get a lot of sunlight, I put 2 coats on, and it does look good. It's a little darker, and it's got kind of like a nice shine to it. It almost looks like it has a coat of wax on it. Again, I'm not going to do 2 coats. I just did it on the windowsills because I think it looks good with one, and I don't want the room to get too dark. So I did the ceiling second, and again, I kind of did it the wrong way. It doesn't look bad, and you probably can't tell from the video, but what I did was get my brush out here. So I started in a corner, and I basically did, you know, here, 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 and I worked my way this way and then back. Actually, I'm going to give the camera to my lovely assistant, or my wife. So when I was over here, what I did was I painted here, or shellacked here, 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 worked my way back this way. But you can actually see where it kind of dried, and I started again. And I did that the whole length of this. And it doesn't look bad, and most people won't be able to tell because I did it. You know, I know. So again, that's what you don't want to do. What you do want to do is, and I did it over here, you actually want to go the whole length of the board. So you got the tongue and groove pine. Do the whole board. And the reason why I say that is because when you look at this pine, your eye goes to the middle. Most people, their eyes are going to go to the middle. When you look at something, you don't really look at a corner first. So what you do is you use the tongue as kind of a border, and you want to do the whole board down this way. It's not tacky yet, and you can make it nice and even. So if you while it's not a big difference, it does look better than the rest of it. Not by much, but it does make a difference. And again, I didn't cut this in. I didn't come over here and cut it in and then go back. And this is a good spot. You can tell what I would say the right way to do the trim is, you don't want to get the side yet until you're actually going to shellac down the piece of pine. Just get the surface area of it. You can make it nice and even, and when I go back and get the pine board, you know, it'll look a little better than, say, the stairs did. So let's go ahead and apply a little bit of this. I'm not going to show you a lot because it takes a while, but I will do a quick video once it's all done to see how it came out. So I'm going to start my ladder. As far as whether you need to stir this stuff or not with air bubbles, makes no difference. I shake it up and pour it in, and I've had no air bubbles whatsoever in the shellac once I apply it. Put my gloves on. So one thing that is very different than using paint is this stuff is super, super watery. Because it's alcohol based, it's very thin. It's got a strong scent to it. Basically smells like really cheap vodka. Got my brush, got my ladder. Now, for the trim, what I'm going to do once the camera's off, I'll do this whole piece of trim down the side. Try not to get too much on the actual pine board, but for time's sake, I'm just going to do a little bit, and I'm going to work my way down the pine board. You don't want to put too much on the brush, but again, you don't want to put too little. Just basically your normal amount. So I'm going to start by doing this piece of trim right here. The trim doesn't really soak it up as well as the pine board. It doesn't look as dark. I don't know if that's just the way the molding pieces are treated versus the pine, if it's stored differently or anything like that. But it doesn't look quite as dark. Still looks good, it just looks slightly different. Now as far as the actual pine, the way I'm going to do this is, I'm going to really goop up the tongue and groove part. Kind of soften in there, get that part real good. And then I'm just going to work my way down this whole piece of pine board. I'm not going to cut in down here and then go back. Now, I'll put this on and I'll go back to it in about a minute. This will be dry right here because it's alcohol. It evaporates super, super, super quick. Now, the beauty of this stuff, besides it kind of looks like a 50-year-old cabin after it's applied, is it's not supposed to look perfect. It's not like paint where you got to worry about lines and things like that. It takes on the appearance of the grain of the wood, and no matter what you do, it's not going to look perfect, but it's not supposed to. And again, I'll get nice in that groove. And that's it. So I'm going to continue with the rest of the room. I hope the video helps. I wasn't able to find any information on how to apply it, so I just kind of had to learn myself. And that's it. Good luck with your project.